What's up, y'all? It's Steve from Path to Summit LLC, a virtual project management firm that provides project staffing, project guidance, and creates PMOs for organizations all over the globe. Today in Smartsheet, we are going to create some formulas in a sheet, super basic and not so basic. In other words, we'll add conditional formatting automatically done for you based upon the hierarchy in the sheet itself. Let's get to it. Here you have a project sheet, task name, assignment status, dates, predecessor's duration, and we've created a few different rows already, and we'll just cover that right now. The children column, which we created, is a column-based formula, and the formula, all it's doing is counting how many child rows there are to the current row that you're looking at. So this, you can see, has 2 child rows. This has 0, and you can also identify any rows by the collapsible little box here. Any rows that have a collapsible box has a child row associated with it. But we've got that calculated for us automatically, so we can see top row, 3 children. Then we created a column that has a count of ancestors. So it does the opposite of what this is doing. It's counting up instead of down. We're counting how many rows above it are there in the hierarchy itself. We're looking at this row. We've got initiation and project alpha, which are like the parent and grandparent rows to it. These are going to help us to identify where in the sheet these rows land. A general practice is a task row going to be a row with no other children associated with it. It's going to be the absolute bottom of the grouping, and that's going to be your actionable tasks and tasks that are assignable to people. Also, the dates can be adjusted. On a project sheet, if it's a parent or grouped row, this is actually populated by the children row below it. This is not necessarily adjustable by itself. You have to actually adjust the children row dates. So that's why I say it's very important. If you have a bottom level child row, that's your actionable task versus anything that's above it. Those are a grouping of actionable tasks that once those child tasks are done, that grouping is done. What we've done here is we've identified different row types. We've given them different names to break it down. I actually like to use Notepad. It's a super simple text tool. It helps you write out formulas and visualize it a lot better versus going into a grouping or a formula and trying to figure out where in your formula you are. So this, I've actually broken it down into sections, right? We want a task named row. In this formula, we did a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. And then anything beyond a level 3, we're just going to generally call a group. And if it doesn't fall within this, which it will, we're going to call it a task. Basically, all this is if there's no children and no ancestors involved. So if it's a standalone row with nothing above or below it, it's a task. We're identifying the task by saying, hey, we're going to count, and we don't need the and in here. My fault. If the count of the children at a row equals 0, it's a task. It gets a little more complicated if you want to find the first level of hierarchy. We have to say, okay, well, it's greater or equal to 1 child associated to that row. Anything that has child or more is going to be a grouping because there's going to be a bottom level below it. Where it gets a little more complicated is counting up the ancestors. If it's a row that has children but doesn't have any rows above it, that's the very top level, level 1. Going to your next level is, we're going to say it has at least 1 ancestor. That's a level 2 because it has 1 row and then 1 row below it, and then it has children. There's going to be 3 levels present, but in the row you're looking at, you only are seeing 1 parent row above it. As we go on, it's the same sort. We identify there's children, and for 2 levels up, you're in level 3. For 1 level up, you're in level 2. And then if you're getting anything lower, we're just going to make it easy on ourselves and just say it's a grouping. It doesn't necessarily need additional conditional formatting. You could go to level 100 if you want to, but we're going to keep it simple today with 3 named levels and a group and a task. I'm going to actually copy and paste that in. Edit column, enter, or, oh, you know what I forgot? Says returns in it. So let me fix this. Okay. We've corrected the formula. Save. Now we can see these rows are getting identified. This is your top level, second level, a task level. These are third level, level 2, and so on. What we're going to do is we're going to use this row type to set up some conditional formatting. So we'll add a new rule condition based upon row type. Level 1 we'll start with, okay, and we'll add our formatting. And you can kick whatever colors that are available. I like to make this a little bit bigger and bold. So top level is going to be huge. And then as you do the formatting based upon similar variables here, based off of the row type, you can actually click on the caret and clone the rule and then adjust what we're looking at. Instead of level 1, we're now looking at level 2. And we'll change the formatting to a little bit lighter color, smaller font, and smaller. We've created automatic formatting here, identifying rows in the project plan that are grouped tasks or tasks by themselves. Anything that's not highlighted or bolded, those are actionable tasks that can be assigned, where you can see the start and end date roll up to all throughout the project itself. One example of how it changes the formatting, when I've changed the hierarchy, switch to a level 3, and then if I in Gunpus, or you can see all the levels. You got your level 1 up here, 3, 4, and then task. You can see it change over here as well. That's one way of setting up conditional formatting based upon how you see the hierarchy. Easy to build this into your template and reuse it. Definitely change the coloring and formatting all you want based on what's given to you in the formatting. Now, this sheet looks easier to decipher assignable tasks. These all have questions, comment below. We actually respond. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Path to Summit channel for more project management tips, tricks, and software tutorials.